Okay, what is up guys? Welcome back to another GeoGuessr video, another play and explain video here. Today we're going to do something a little bit more fun. We're going to play a skewed world here, which, you can't use any car copyright. Well, I guess you can use copyright, but like road lines, any meta on the car, anything like that, not going to be visible to you in NMPZ, a skewed world. So I think trying to learn how to guess off of the landscape, maybe we can learn a little bit there. So yeah, we'll be doing a skewed world today, and we'll see how that goes. Obviously going to be leaving all the links to the script in the description down below. Probably just going to do 5 seeds, and I'm going to be explaining my guess on each one. So I know this will never be a comp map or anything like that, but thought I'd do a bit of a fun one, kind of a break from just playing just grinding comp maps and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys enjoy this content, of course, and yeah, let's hop into it. I will see you guys when we hop into our first game here and grab the link. Okay, here we are with our first seed here on a skewed world. Let's hop into it here. Record is 26, I think, but I don't know if we're touching that, to be completely honest, unless we get the God seed. Okay, we do have Thai language here, so this is a good start. And I guess we're on some off-road here of a 2-lane highway. Yeah, I mean, this truck's going the opposite way here. And we're on some sort of off-road. Because I was confused as to why these cars were also driving here. Because it makes it look like they're driving right. But yeah, we do have Thai right there. So, and it is Gen 4. So yeah. And let's just check. Yeah, we are just on a little off-road on the main highway, which makes sense. Okay. We move into what looks like Sri Lanka here. We have a good amount of tea growing on the sides of very red soil mountains. Tuk Tuk also fits. And we do have this pole that's similar to a Thai pole, but it gets a little bit thicker at the bottom, and the dots don't go all the way down the pole. So I think Sri Lanka makes a lot of sense here with the tea red soil. And usually when you see tea and red soil, you probably go like southwest of Nuwara Elia. Something up in this area here definitely works. And it is pretty close there. We'll move on to round 3, in which we have Ecuador, I would probably say. Yeah, just kind of this very high altitude looking stuff. Could be Colombia, of course, but I do associate this bit thicker pole, kind of similar to like an Italian pole, where it gets thicker at the bottom, thinner at the top, a bit more in Ecuador. And don't see like bolts here on the left and right side of the sign, which would indicate like some sort of Colombian cross. So I definitely lean more Ecuador with those two things. And I think we will be going Ecuador here. And it was Iluman there, but still in Ecuador. Move on to round 4, in which we have a trident pole here. Very like kind of foggy looking camera here, and we are in generation 3. So with the trident pole, foggy camera, just kind of this open farmland with like fences, fits very well for Uruguay. And you will notice this fog on the camera, or like this blur on the camera, when you play enough Uruguay, of course, and it is just Uruguay. So that's going to leave us on a 4 streak here. And we move on to this round, in which we can kind of see the ocean here to the west. And it is quite hilly, but not super hilly. We kind of have these rolling hills, very thick outer lines. I think everything fits for Denmark. We might have a brick house here, which is pretty common in like Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, some parts of South Sweden as well. Yeah, we can't send South Sweden here with no outer dashes, I'd say. So I think Denmark, just looking at some sort of ocean, makes a lot of sense. I guess I'm just sending up here or like Bornholm or something, but yeah, I think Denmark does make a lot of sense with these rolling hills, kind of this open field situation. Not as many segmented off like fenced fields in Denmark. And it is Bornholm, actually. So yeah, did say that was an option. It was quite hilly, which does make sense for there. But yeah, good start. We start off on a little bit of a 5 streak, and this is kind of where it all goes downhill, but we'll see how it goes. And we start off in... Hard to see what language that is. This does look like a rectangular pole, though. So probably Mexico, I'd lean. Pavement kind of fits as well, where it's not like a uniform like shoulder as well, where it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, a little bit bumpy, and we have a little bit of a side road here. I think houses also fit for Mexico, kind of these like square boxier looking houses. 2024. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, this does look Spanish to me over like Portuguese or something, and the pole I think fits quite well for Mexico. Looks like a hexagonal kind of style pole. We have some white water tanks here mixed with some black water tanks on top of this house, which is a good combination for Mexico as well. Black water tanks, white water tanks. So I think we will be sending Mexico. I'm not too sure on the region guess, but yeah, we'll just send it somewhere in here, and it ends up being Michoacan. And we'll move on to this round here. Which we have a double guardrail here, but a white center line, which is quite odd. With double guardrail, I mean, obviously this isn't Europe. Europe you would consider Italy most likely, I think, with double guardrail, but I think with double guardrail here, why do we have a white center line? I think that's what's throwing me off, because I would have went Ecuador here. I think the pole is kind of the same pole that we talked about, where it gets a little bit thicker at the bottom, thinner at the top. And we do have some dots going up the top of the pole, which is quite common in Ecuador, and then the double guardrail definitely fits for there as well. This is the only thing that's sussing me out, but maybe there could be a yellow center line like right below us here, and it's a two-laned two-lane highway, which I guess would make sense. And to me, it either looks like east of Andes or like something western here, but not in this middle portion where it gets very hilly in this Andes mountain range. So yeah, I think I'm going to Ecuador here. Hopefully I'm not missing something, but double guardrail plus the pole definitely fits. And let's see if this is divided. Yeah, it is a divided highway, so it does make sense why we had the white line there. A little bit of a bait. Okay, I think this is where we lose it. 2025. I don't even know where to begin here. It looks like sun is kind of above us with the shadows casting down of these trees. I thought about Bangladesh, maybe, but I don't know how much these buildings fit for Bangladesh. Like the stuff in the back here kind of looks Bangladeshi, but I'm not too sure about this stuff. Now I'm leaning like Luzon maybe is possible. That would make sense with the sun above us, I guess, because the equator is like here. It is quite close. Pretty big pavilion here. Maybe some kind of basketball gym, so maybe that does fit for the Philippines. I don't know. I'm trying to discern any other clues, but yeah, I don't know if I'm really going to get much here. I guess this palm is maybe a little weird for Philly. Yeah, maybe that palm is a little bit weird for Philly. So am I going back to like our Bangladesh idea? Sri Lanka came to mind, but I don't think it's low cam, and it is Gen 4. Thailand, maybe? Maybe it's just Thailand. I do think the metal fence is a bit weird, because I feel like usually you get concrete post fences rather than these metal fences with like not really a chain link, but it is just metal mesh wire. Yeah, I'm actually not sure here. I think the best that I can think of is either, like, it definitely looks most Southeast Asian to me, I think, with this house. It's just a matter of where do I click. I feel like this field would be a rice field, maybe, in Bangladesh, but although that's not, like, for certainty. I don't know if I see Luzon that much anymore, especially with this palm. I feel like it's quite weird. Maybe I'm just leaning Bangladesh, honestly. I do think this house is a bit weird, though, but I think I'm going to try it. It is Mexico, actually. Okay. I mean, that makes sense with the house, I guess. That's kind of why I was thinking Philly, because it's like kind of a Spanish colonial style house with like the painted roof and this kind of boxy thing, but I don't know. I just thought this was kind of unreal. I guess it makes sense at the end of the day. But yeah, kind of a tough skewed location. I mean, Palm makes sense here now. Yeah, it just didn't come to mind there, but certainly makes sense. Okay, well, we lose it on 7, which is kind of tough, but we'll move on to another round here. These are the rounds that really kills you on this map, because you have to discern if it's a Nordic forest or if it's just like a North American forest. I think I need more Nordic forest on this one, because we do have some of these like skinny barked pines, which is reminds me of stuff that you get in like Poland or something, but it feels a bit more north with these birch trees. So I think I'm just clicking Sweden by default here, even though it's Gen 3. Yeah, it is just Sweden. Nice. Okay. We move into this round now. Sun is pretty clearly in our south here. That roof is kind of unreal. I don't know if it's Ireland or the UK. I feel like that's probably the only two options with these like pretty neatly segmented fields with these hedgerows, which are quite common in both Ireland and the UK. I guess this house looks quite white. I feel like I don't see as much segmented hedgerows fields in Ireland. There are obviously places that it does exist in, but I feel like it's maybe more of a UK thing. Um, hmm. I guess I'm leaning more UK here. And do I go Cornwall or Northern Ireland? I definitely thought Northern Ireland was possible. I don't know. It's just Cork. Sorry, Finbar. Tough. Okay. That's gonna bring us to the end of our second seed. We'll move into our third seed here. If we have a streak going at the end of the allotted 5 seeds, then I will probably just keep playing. I mean, I'm gonna assume that this one is low cam here, and there's not much to talk about, but like I can't really see anything, so I mean, it's not low cam, it's small cam, and I mean, yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to discern from this image, to be completely honest with you. I mean, UK makes sense when you can pan around and look at everything, but from this image, I guess this code maybe is a bit weird for Japan. Yeah, they have these traffic cones though, I feel like. But like I can't really tell what the wall looks like even. So I'm gonna chalk that one up to a skill issue. But maybe also cope a little bit and say that was a little bit tough. Okay, we do have some birches here. I think copyright is useful in this one because these houses definitely do look most Nordic. So I was thinking Finland, but I can obviously rule out Finland if the copyright is before 2022, which I cannot see, unfortunately. So yeah, that would be quite helpful if I could rule that out. It kind of looks like, I don't know. I think I'm just going Finland just because the houses, no painted outer lines on the roads. It could be Baltics as well. Like I definitely thought about that, but yeah, it is just Sweden. What's the copyright here? I could see it. It's 2023, so I guess that wouldn't have made a difference at the end of the day. Oh, move on to this round. We kind of have this like amber long grass, Gen 3, yellow outer lines. Sun is pretty clearly in the north with the shadow casting on the car here. So yeah, I'm just thinking Eswatini. And, yeah, it's just Eswatini. Eswatini long grass, guys. Okay, we're in Mexico here, it looks like. We have a couple of Mexican metas. We do have the chevron with the yellow background, black arrows. Mexican sign in the distance here where you kind of have the place name and then like the highway shield with usually the highway number on the left. We have a concrete road, concrete pole here, which looks somewhat hexagonal, and then pretty Mexican looking infrastructure here, cinder block in the middle of the road, kind of divider situation. As for where, we have hills to our south. I don't actually know where this is, though. Those are pretty big mountains. Like, I think we have a lot of coconut palms as well, which I think it's a bit too green for stuff here. So I was thinking, can we be here even? It looks a bit more northern, though. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell. Okay, we were kind of on the right track here. Yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, move into this round. I mean, what is this? Looks like another Nordic location. We do have some pines. Dirt road here is quite interesting, but definitely feels like Sweden to me with the like slight hilliness. I think soil color fits as well. Yeah, I think I'm just going Sweden here and praying. And it's Estonia. I mean, that makes sense. We did have green blur here. Pretty clear green blur, in fact. Like where you can kind of see it just all blurring together. I just thought it was a bit too hilly for Estonia, but yeah, I mean, hills exist there, to be completely fair. Okay, disaster of a third seed, but let's see if we can pick it back up for our 4th and 5th seed here on this fun Play and Explains Sunday. Let's hop into it here. Okay, we have Somos Peru. So yeah, that's pretty much going to give it to me, but yeah, pretty knowable political poster here in Gen 4. Aside from that, sun is in the north. We do have black water tanks, which are quite common in Peru. And we kind of have these like brick walls with the red brick And just kind of this dry, deserty looking landscape. So yeah, I'm probably just going to click around Piura here. Don't see any mountains visible, so I think it makes sense. And yeah, it's up here. Fair enough. Okay, we have the most unreal location of all time in the foggiest forest ever. I do have a crazy shout, but it's probably going to be wrong. But do I try it anyway? I can't even read the climate here, if I'm being completely honest with you. Because it is winter, it's very hard to tell the trees, unless you can identify it only by the bark. My first thought was Mongolia here, just because it looks like something I've seen before, the foggy forest. But like, if this is like, I feel like my two thoughts were like Mongolia and Croatia, as crazy as that sounds. Latitude wise, I mean, it's marginal. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's much to say on this one besides I'm just going to click Mongolia and hope for the best. And it is Italy. Okay. Listen, I swear I'd seen... Okay, we're in Trekker. Yeah, kind of unreal. This map is kind of unreal. Okay. Move on to this round in which we're just looking at a house. We do have pretty North American looking poles though here with the wood poles. We do have a transformer on the pole as well, which is infinitely more of a North American thing. This house is quite interesting though. And these bins look quite North American as well. I think trees look quite northern, so I'm probably going to click Canada here, but I'm not sure where. And yeah, if I thought about it, I mean, like, I guess this house makes sense for Quebec. So yeah, it was just Quebec. Okay, let's think about this one. We are looking at a setting sun on a dirt road with plants. And that's about all we can see. We can see a house here. First, that was Ukraine. For some reason, dirt road makes sense. I think the climate also makes sense. Doesn't seem too far north to me, especially with like these plants and this tree here. So I'm trying to think about what countries it could be. I guess Romania is possible. In Gen 3, I feel like most Gen 3 in Volga is winter, so probably not that. Probably not Hungary as well, because most Gen 3 in Hungary is winter. Could be Czechia, maybe, but that's a lot of winter coverage as well in Gen 3. And then Slovakia is always possible. But we kind of have these rolling hills, dirt road. I don't know. I just thought Ukraine was possible, or Russia, so. And it's Lith. Huh. I mean, that makes sense with the dirt road. But you can see why this map is so exceedingly frustrating. Okay, we move into this round here, in which we have what I want to say is BC, Transformers facing the road, which fits for both BC and New Brunswick. And we kind of have like Gen 2 camera here. Is this like Prince Rupert or something? But I feel like that doesn't really work. So like, what's our other option? Maybe it's someone somewhere on VI? It just feels very rainforesty. We have a lot of pine trees. And obviously we can see water here. Something here, maybe? It's Gibson's. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. This is kind of the peninsula thing that I was looking for here, but I mean, you can kind of see it here. But I guess you didn't see this land here on the other side, so yeah, this makes a lot of sense. But we do get the BC there. And we'll move into our final seed on this one. And let's see how that goes. We start off in 2022 again. Definitely feels Nordic. I'd say I mean, you go Sweden, Finland here. It's 2022, so it could be any of the 3 Nordic countries. I'm just gonna go Northern Finland, I think. I think it makes sense. We don't have any outer lines here. Maybe I'm just being biased and saying that both Norway and Sweden would probably have outer lines, so just going Finland. It's just Sweden, unfortunately. Well, that's tough. Okay, we move into this round in which we are driving left. Steering wheel is on the right on this car, so that would indicate left-hand drive. And we should be in Africa here, I think, with the plants and the buildings. Al Jazeera Hospital, I think, would fit for somewhere in Africa. Driving left here, you can really only consider South Africa, I guess Namibia now, and Kenya with Gen 4 driving left. Yeah, I think it looks most like Kenya. We do have some yellow black back plates as well, which is in both Namibia and Kenya, but this one looks more like Kenya, I think, with the buildings. And the climate feels a bit more closer to the equator than just Kalahari Desert. So, yeah, it's just Kenya there in Garissa. And we get another tough location, which I'm leaning US with these posts here on the fence, but yeah, I'm not really too sure. I think probably clicking US here. Sun is south, it looks like. And yeah, I'm probably just going somewhere in Appalachia then. And it is Italy. Wow. Interesting post. I've never seen anything like this before. Huh. I mean, it makes sense. Especially with this massive mountain there, actually. I probably should have considered that. But, yeah, a little bit tough. I mean, this one looks like Ukraine. We do have pretty bad-looking pavement here. It's kind of this flatness, and it is Gen 3, so probably going to stick with that. And it is just Russia. So this map is killing me, man. And why does it look like we have a Chile pole here with indents? Because we're in Chile. Maybe. Where's the sun? Sun looks south, though. So what is this pole? Where in Chile would this be, even? Do I just go Mexico, then? Sun south? Okay, we'll continue because we're on a one streak here. So we'll see how high we can go. But you guys get a little bit of bonus seeds now. And yeah, you can see how frustrating this map is. And why people don't really... And we will probably lose it here. I don't know. Looks Balkan here. We're growing corn. We have a bunch of red roofs, which points me towards Bulgaria. But like I said, Bulgaria Gen 3 summer coverage is a bit rare. Am I still going Bulgaria anyway? I think the angle of the mountains, though, is a little bit weird as well. To have a north-south mountain range in Bulgaria that really fits. Because most of it is like that middle mountain range that goes east-west, and then, I don't know, you do get some mountains here, but I don't really see any big mountains like this at this angle that kind of works. Not even here, I feel like it's not a big enough valley, so... Romania then would maybe fit more because you kind of have this flat part in the middle here with mountains here. Could be Serbia as well. I did consider that. And it is just Serbia, yeah. I mean, that makes sense with these north-south mountains. Okay, well, we will continue on... I don't know what to do with this location. I mean, it looks... It looks Indonesian or Philippines to me. I don't know if I can explain too much on this round. Like, I don't think we have anything, so I think I'm just going Philly. It is just Philly. Okay, we'll take it. Okay, we have an interesting fence here, which I think is more of the fence that I would expect to see in Thailand. I don't know about this satellite dish, though. That's kind of weird. I think building fits for Thailand, though, as does the fence with these concrete posts and, like, just wire going across. I think that's what I'm sending. Okay, it's just Thailand there. Nice. And we get a pretty free Brazil, I think. Pretty red-tinted road. You see a lot of these big trucks just driving throughout Brazil and just these rolling hills, so I think I will slam that one in. And we move into this round, which looks like we do have... I want to say American plates here. I just don't know where we are. But I think it should fit for America. We got front plates here. I mean, it could be Canada, of course. With a north-south grid angle, would probably lean more US here. I've never seen anyone in Canada drive an Xterra, which I think that's what that is. Xterra Meta. I don't know. I'm clicking like here. Okay. It is just New Hampshire there, which means we will continue going because we actually are on a 4 streak now. It's a little bit of a sunk cost fallacy. But yeah, let's hop into another round here. And looks like Yucatan, maybe? You do occasionally get these outer white dashed lines in Yucatan. I think the trees really do fit with kind of like this thick jungle, but cleared a little bit away from the road, so yeah, it is just Kuru. Okay, this one looking like Kenya, maybe? These high security walls and houses definitely feel most Kenyan to me. I could see this being Rwanda. I think the wood pole fits as well for that. Kind of this like material for building with the brick as well. I think fits. Soil fits. I think I have to send Kenya here. It is Kenya in Kishi. Very nice. Okay, and then this is where we probably lose it because oh, we have a black painted back sign. Scooter. I'm thinking Italy then with the black painted back sign. This, I don't know what car this is. This building in the back could look Italian. This sign kind of looks Italian to me. For some reason, I thought about Italy and like Gibraltar here. But Gibraltar would drive on the left. So Italy it is. With black painted back sign. It is just Rome. Huge. Okay, we move into New Zealand here. We do have the gap or the little indent in the pole. Possum Guard as well, and very tropical looking location, so pretty free New Zealand's. And then we move into this round in which we probably will lose it. We do have some bamboo growing. I don't think it's low cam. I don't want to gaslight myself into thinking that it's low cam. I know bamboo does exist in places like Taiwan, obviously, and then like I've even seen it in Colombia as well. I think I'm gonna go Taiwan. Kind of just playing it by ear. Like it was Brazil. I mean, that was possible as well, but yeah, a bit of a tough one. I guess the curb makes sense for Brazil then. Maybe a bit more Latin American kind of style curb. But yeah, a bit hard to get. Okay, well, fitting that we lost it on that last one there, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little bit of fun episode here. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two. Let me know your best streak in the comments down below, of course, and let me know if you like some of these fun maps that we're doing in the Play and Explain. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another GeoGuessr video. Peace.